Hello everyone and welcome back to my Fire Emblem New Mystery of the Emblem Lunatic Reverse playthrough. Chapter 21 marks the beginning of the final arc of the game. Marth's army is warped to the Wyvern's Dale, an untamed land inhabited by wild dragons and barbarian tribesmen. Passing through is necessary to reach the dragon's altar, currently serving as the lair of the big bads Garneth and Michalis. Over the course of the last couple of chapters, my team has undergone a somewhat Super Saiyan-esque transformation, becoming much more powerful. I acquired many new weapons including the longbow, fresh new Aura and Excalibur tomes, brave weapons and the Gradivus. Luke has finally hit A bow so he can at last use Parthia for incredible damage output. My combat units have kept many relevant stats and my mages are sitting at an A rank in staves. It's safe to say the army has reached its peak strength. The map I'll unleash this new destructive power on is much more tame than what we're used to. Many enemies on this map are stationary until you enter their range, and there are very minimal reinforcements. Said reinforcements, in the form of thieves, will appear at the top and will make their way through this terrain-heavy path toward this village, containing a badly bruised michalis and, more importantly, the Starlight, the only weapon that can deal damage to Garneth. On turn 1, I used Chris as a human bait to lure in 3 enemies, one of whom could have just straight one-shot him, and counter with my mage duo. I bait out some more wyverns, but I'm able to fight them slightly easier than back in Honor's way thanks to the longbow's 3 range, allowing me for the first time to attack 1 to 2 range enemies without taking damage. I'm able to assault and occupy the center fort with little effort and send Luke, Palla and Katria up north to intercept the thieves. However, these guys, plus 1 wyvern I lured over by accident, are proving to be more difficult to deal with than expected. Thankfully, after Fortify use, I'm able to pull through by moving Katria within the Meteor user's range and picking off the thieves from 2 range. This buys enough time for Marth to walk up north and speak with Michalis. It turns out, in his attempts to rescue Maria, he discovered that Garneth stole Starlight and suffered greatly to retrieve it. Little did he know that Garneth actually moves off his throne, so I don't actually need Starlight to help Maria. But okay man, sure. I guess Michalis didn't know that Garneth never read the rules before becoming a boss, huh? So he just dies for nothing. And I mean it when I say that because I didn't upload Minerva for this chapter in a desperate attempt to improve the quality of the story. All that remains is to slice apart the generic sorcerer boss before seizing. Also, I forgot, Ymir joined at the start of the map. Can anyone tell me who this guy is? What is he doing here? Is he lost? I'm serious, by the way. Next, I played Chapter 22. The team enters the Dragon's Table, eternal resting place of all the Earth Dragons of the world. Our objective? Preventing Midius' resurrection and the slumbering dragon's awakening. Speaking of awakening, this is the same Dragon's Table that Premonition and Chapter 23 of Awakening take place in. Just a couple of thousand years later though, in the original FE3 Book 2, this map and the following 2 are connected and it's not possible to save or change your deployed units in between. This map is notorious for spawning a torrential flood of horrifically lethal reinforcements that are nigh impossible to fend off. So much so that Goto even suggests LTCing this chapter himself. Not only are there tons of reinforcements, but hidden behind these doors are over a dozen bad guys ready to completely tear into your army. Needless to say that all the new and rescue staff uses I've been hoarding will finally play a pivotal role in this clear. 2 maps before the game ends. No, I don't have a hoarding problem. Since I'll be fighting almost exclusively dragon and sorcerer enemy types from now on, I sell a bunch of now useless weapons like the rapier, forged rider's bane, and forged poleaxe. With that cash I dump it all on a +5 might dragon pike for clean one-shots on mage dragons, a new enemy type that are comparable in bulk to fire dragons but are totally immune to magic. When the map begins, Jagan professes his love for Chris. I mean, about time, right? I've been shipping these 2 for forever. Okay, never mind, it's just the same support. When the map really begins, Goto gifts us Nagi, a character with effective damage against dragons. When the map really begins, I move everyone up the initially scarcely populated center corridor. I remember being surprised that Marth all of a sudden became a combat god, possessing Chris tier durability and out-damaging Sirius even when using an effective weapon. Maybe not if Sirius does that. By now, I'm faced with 3 mages in the north and flanked by 4 enemies in the south. Zane and Luke kill the southern mages while Marth takes care of the mage dragon alongside Nagi, who with a little bit of chip damage can clean one-shot dragons with perfect accuracy. Meanwhile, the northern squad fall to the White Wings, Pala, Katria, and Sida. At this point, I've decided to just make a break for the throne and full move everyone up. Nagi, with her terrible movement, is stranded in the middle of the map, ready to be instantly headshot by a Glorag mage. For her brave service and effective damage against dragons, I don't leave Nagi to die and rescue her to safety. To make matters worse, dragons also spawn near the top that block off the doors, so I need to cut a path through. Sirius and Pala slice and dice the leftmost two dragons, whereas with some longbow chip, Nagi kills one and Chris the other on the right. By now the reinforcements are piling in to crush my saving the world party. It's now or never. The map needs to end on the next turn, otherwise catastrophic results will be sure to follow. The one turn of freedom I yet have I spend on clearing out the closest dragons that block the doors. On the final turn I use Marisha to rescue boost Marth beyond this mage dragon. With the boots, he has enough movement to reach the throne if it weren't for this meddling swordmaster blocking the way. I take him out from across the wall with Sida and Mary. Marth can't beat the boss by himself though. It's Luke's job with his 9 move and 2 range to reach the boss to chip it down. He can combine with Marth to take the boss down. All that remains is for Lyn to cast anew, and Marth seizes. With no time to spare, everyone quickly makes their way deeper in the temple, where a certain dark pontifex awaits.